guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today what I'd like to discuss is why I don't have social media. You know, once I tell people that, they look at me like I'm crazy or like I'm some kind of serial killer or what this guy is hiding, right? And I used to have social media. I had Facebook when I was in 5th grade. Then I started Instagram my junior year. Then finally had Snapchat my senior year. Then had TikTok briefly back in 2020. And through those platforms, you know, it just felt normal at the time, right? Because everyone had it. It just seemed normal. It seemed like not a big deal. It was just a cool way to connect with your friends or find a partner, a dating partner, or whoever. And through those years, it seemed harmless, and you know, I was young, about 18 to 20 years old, so I had nothing better to do in my life, right? And so I was always consumed by it. You know, once I was done with Facebook, I would go to Instagram. Once I'm done with Instagram, I'm going to Snapchat. Once I'm done with Snapchat, I'm watching TikTok. Like, it was a never-ending cycle, right? And I was always posting stories about what I was doing, right? And to be honest, I realized people don't care what I'm doing, right? And then the other people, you know, they don't care what I'm doing. So what was the whole point posting stories and trying to get likes and trying to see who viewed my stories? You know, at the time it seemed like, oh, okay, I'm popular. I felt like it was a sense of validation. It was a sense of acceptance, I realized, right? It was coming out of insecurity. And once I realized it was coming from an unhealthy place, back in 2021, that's when I deleted Instagram and Snapchat. It was definitely a liberating experience. Once it happened, I was like, okay, now I'm off the grid now, right? It was kind of like, this is how it should feel, you know? Because, you know, for thousands of years, you know, there's never been any social media. Like back then in the 80s or 70s, a friend, you don't know what the hell they were doing at that time, right? You don't know until you see them, and then they tell you stories about what they did and things like that. But now everything's instant gratification. You know what everyone's doing. What I realized with social media, it creates a lot of envy. It creates a lot of comparison, right? So if you don't see yourself with someone, or you see someone traveling and you find yourself like just sitting in your living room or just sitting, you know, in your bathroom and not doing anything and you're just bored, I could get someone really depressed quickly, definitely. And you know, they always say comparison is a thief of joy, right? And us, you know, we're prone to feel envy, to feel jealous towards others. So social media is like on steroids with that, right? So that's not exactly healthy. And a lot of people rely their validation and self-worth on others, right? They post a picture, they post a story, and they look, you know, who likes them, right? Who likes their photos. Like I said, you know, you could have 99 likes, right? But that one person that you were looking for that didn't like it, it'll ruin your day, ruin your week. You feel empty, you feel like you're worthless. And, you know, at that time I was looking for my purpose, right? I was seeking, like, what, you know, I realized social media was this propaganda. It was just a distraction. And I asked myself, what are, you know, the people behind it, social media, what are they trying to distract me from, right? What are they trying to not make me see, you know, behind the veil? And I just realized social media was just a big gimmick. It was a big, excuse my language, but it was just bullshit, you know, underneath. And people thought, you know, a lot of people use it for unhealthy reasons. And I was like, okay, all the people in my social media pages, they don't even know who I am. I don't even know them, you know, they're strangers, right? So why should I even care what they're thinking, if they should look at my story? It just made no sense to me. It just seemed like a big waste of time. And that's when I thought about my own mortality, right? Like, if I was on my deathbed in 80, would I be proud and fulfilled knowing I lived my life through a phone, through social media, just to try to get approval from others? When you think that, I'm like, wow, like that makes no logical sense. Why to have social media? It's, you know, if you really want to connect with someone, if you know, they will have your number, right? Because they actually know you. That's why I realized, like, okay, someone that I really know, I would just have their number because I personally know them. But if I just have a stranger, from back in high school, middle school, a stranger I just met, I just don't see the point in it. It just makes no sense to me. Social media just consumes your time. It takes away your purpose in life. A lot of people, it plays in a lot of people's insecurities, and it creates that vicious cycle of repeating it because it's so addictive, right? Once you get that hit of validation and attention, it's very difficult to remove yourself from it. So it was definitely a withdrawal phase once I removed myself from social media. But now I haven't had social media in almost 5 years now, and I definitely don't regret it. It's before social media was always taking away time from me, and I wasn't focused. It would take away my creativity, take away my purpose, my personal development. So it was a game changer removing myself from social media and going against the crowd, because people like to normalize it, social media, and for example, you see people that growing up, porn is normalized too. That's something like, it just feels normal, right? Everyone's like, oh, we all do it, it's no big deal. But once you think for yourself and you realize the purpose behind everything, you want to remove yourself from these activities, right? And the social media is definitely one of them. Social media is just a way to distract us, to dumb us down, just like TikTok. Now no one wants to look at themselves, right? Everyone wants to be distracted, and that's what social media offers. And social media, I see as pure poison for the brain, and I think we've seen the effects for it, because now people are more depressed, more anxious than ever. People are constantly comparing themselves. Social media, it's a definitely an antidote to unhappiness. So once I remove myself from social media, you're thinking, Ryan, like, how can you live? What are you doing? Like, what are you trying to run away from? And it just takes away distraction. It makes me want to live in the moment more. Personally, I hate carrying my phone. I can't stand carrying my phone. Like when I go hiking, when I'm with someone one-on-one, because then, like I said, I go back to my mortality. Like, will I regret not being in the moment, right? Would you rather be in the moment and then have a conversation with someone, have a relationship with someone, or being stuck on a phone and not living fully? So that's something definitely to keep in mind. That's why I took myself away from social media. A lot of people see me weird for not having social media, but you get to that place in your life, you just don't care, right? You're worried about you. You put yourself first, and I definitely heavily recommend removing yourself from social media and actually start living. So appreciate listening. See you later.